This act demonstrates the insight of the ANC once again on the potency of the international mobilization and solidarity. One important conference amongst many was the Bandung Conference. So this gathering consisted of countries of Africa and Asia that have recently come out of colonialization. Its main aim was to join hands with those countries who were still under the yoke of colonialism and apartheid. One of the delegates, main delegates in that conference, Moses Kotane, making the South African case for solidarity amongst others, he said, and I quote, "I appeal to delegates to use their good offices internationally to persuade other civilized and freedom-loving nations of the world to prevail on the government of the Union of South Africa to abandon its unjust and disastrous policy of apartheid and racial discrimination. We are convinced and confident that the government of South Africa could be forced to reconsider its reactionary and inhumane policy if all the nations who do not approve of policies and practices of racial oppression and discrimination, particularly the governments of the United States and Britain, would boldly take a firm stand against such practices." Close quote. This was a challenge posed to international community, and the progressive humanity stretched its hand of solidarity, and an intense campaign of isolation and disinvestment in South Africa started. Another important aspect on this is the World Anti-Apartheid Movement, which developed from the late 50s as a social movement of a specific kind of solidarity with the people, with the oppressed people of South Africa. It was characterized by the following, amongst others. One, its opposition to apartheid and in solidarity with the oppressed people of this land. Two, it drew its inspiration on the historical traditions of opposition to slavery, colonialism, and imperialism, civil rights movement in the United States of America, women's rights movement, anti-nuclear movement, and anti-war movement. Three, it redefined the parameters of social protest. Fourthly, its commitment to equality and human rights. Fifthly, created politics that were transnational and across-cultural. Sixth, it redefined international law and global politics. And seven, in its character, they were thinking globally and acting locally. The World Anti-Apartheid Movement can be categorized into four areas, these being the global and continental governance institutions, such as United Nations Organization and its agencies, especially UNESCO, ILO, UNHCR, Organization of African Unity, the Non-Aligned Movement, the Commonwealth, and so on. Two, international non-governmental organizations, such as the World Council of Churches, World Peace Council, and International Trade Union Movement.
Water continues to be a major challenge